Zalario's bewilderment was evident. He could sense something happening but couldn't grasp it. Thoughts of skill alteration echoed briefly in his mind before he felt the constraints on his heart core shatter. He couldn't fathom it. He had accepted an offer, but he hadn't agreed to become an ally, or so he thought. It was challenging to acquire such power, yet it had been altered effortlessly. Who would dare to tamper with it? Rimuru did. Rimuru, are you suggesting that Demon Lord Rimuru accomplished this? Indeed. Don't dwell on it too much, simply accept the truth. You're all showing disrespect to Rimuru-sama. Your master is extraordinary. Absolutely. Zalario protested involuntarily, and Leon nodded in agreement. Surprisingly, they seemed to get along well. How's the power check? Don't underestimate me, I've got the hang of it. It's been a while since you used your power, are you sure you'll be fine? No problem. Now I can handle you without hesitation. What about you? I'll manage when the time comes. With the immediate situation addressed, they turned their attention to Milim, who had reappeared. Rimuru surveyed the prepared friends, particularly impressed by Benimaru's formation. As they closed in on Milim, tension grew. Benimaru reassured Rimuru, Leon and Zalario are under my command now, so we're all set. The showdown was imminent, their speed far surpassing sound. Missing the first move would be disastrous. Milim's Drago Nova activation was quicker than the blink of an eye, and they could only aim precisely in that moment. A coordinated assault from Rimuru's allies, including Benimaru, Souei, Leon, and Zalario, would be their most powerful attack. Milim stopped in the air, and the Magus initiated the attack. Beam cannons fired in unison, focusing their energy intensely. However, Milim seemed unaffected, not even bothering to defend herself. Her shimmering invisible barrier was impervious. Souei attempted to capture her with thousand-hand shadow kill, but Milim continued to move unhindered. Leon's 100 Breaker unleashed a torrent of powerful light beams, yet Milim's barrier held. Zalario's Insanity Hash produced a dense sword force, but Milim's barrier merely glowed brighter. Finally, it was Benimaru's turn with Prominence Acceleration. A black sun radiated, surging toward Milim like a dragon of darkness. Milim had no choice but to react, as the attack was immensely powerful, fueled by a borrowed power. The attack distracted Milim and bought them some time. Souei used his threads to capture Milim. Leon created a cage of disintegration, and Zalario applied pressure with Haki. However, Milim was still not fully restrained. Rimuru then invoked Void God Azathoth to remove Feldway's interference with Milim's thoughts and actions. The operation was a success, and Milim's orders to destroy the sacred tree were lifted. But the battle was far from over. Milim was still frenzied, and if the fight continued, Saurian would suffer immense damage. Rimuru asked Souei to ensure the safety of Dagrul's people, and Souei assured him that he had a plan in place. However, just as they were about to execute their plan, time suddenly stopped. Rimuru realized that Dagrul was responsible for this and that the situation had become even more dire. Dagrul's time-stop power was formidable, and it threatened Shin, Luminas, and others. Rimuru asked Veldora to rescue them while he dealt with Milim. Ultima shared coordinates with Veldora, making spatial transportation possible even in the suspended world due to their connection through the Soul Corridor. As Rimuru continued to fight Milim, Veldora teleported to assist Shin and Luminas, and the world resumed its movement. Rimuru felt a sense of relief and focused on distracting the out-of-control Milim as they headed toward the barren lands. Jahil grappled with a mixture of resentment and helplessness as he confronted Kigali and her group. He had initially underestimated them as insignificant foes, but he had been unable to deal any decisive blows to them, leading to growing frustration. Nevertheless, he maintained a calm and composed demeanor, fully aware of his surroundings. His thoughts raced with disbelief about the immense power exhibited by the Dragon Princess, and he contemplated the unexpected turn of events, primarily Zalario's betrayal. While he didn't comprehend how it had occurred, Zalario was now cooperating in detaining Milim, creating a significant predicament. Jahil wasn't concerned about loyalty to Feldway at this point. His main issue was the lack of dependable allies in this region. While he believed he could defeat Kigali and her group alone, the prospect of Zalario turning against him left him in a precarious situation. In a telepathic exchange with Feldway, Jahil conveyed the gravity of the situation and his intention to withdraw. Despite his initial reluctance, he recognized the humiliation of facing seemingly inferior opponents but knew that caution had been his saving grace until now, preventing him from falling to Milim's attacks. Jahil tapped into the power of the Origin Blood, a formidable but risky ability due to its overwhelming nature, and unleashed an attack known as the Evil Blood Wave. The battlefield was saturated with magicules he had secretly dispersed earlier, transforming it into a potentially deadly inferno at his command. He taunted his adversaries, declaring his greatness just as the flames erupted around them. The sacred tree, its protectors, and Jahil's opponents, including Sylvia, Ter, and Kagali, were all enveloped by the raging fire. However, the flames quickly vanished as Benimaru intervened. He had manipulated the air without Jahil's notice, saving everyone from the devastating attack. While Jahil managed to get away, Benimaru believed it was crucial not to risk his scarce resources, making this the most favorable result. The sacred tree remained mostly unharmed, indicating that the damage had been superficial and would soon heal. Almesia, who had anticipated Jahil's actions, praised Benimaru for his swift response. Benimaru's actions, along with Sylvia and Almesia's cooperation, had foiled Jahil's plan. Using their ultimate skills, Almesia had used Heavenly Wind King Veu to collect the blood mist, while Heat King Amaterasu burned only the magic blood, effectively thwarting Jahil. Recognizing Benimaru's efforts, Almesia expressed her admiration, acknowledging him as the savior of Saurian. The timely intervention had saved Zalario's forces from harm. His deputies, Dali's and Nice, approached him, curious about Benimaru's role in the battle. Zalario explained that Benimaru had unintentionally protected them, and he asked his deputies whether they wanted to continue following him or join Feldway. Zalario realized that his troops had developed a sense of individuality, a product of their newfound freedom from domination. They chose to stay with Zalario, recognizing the importance of their newfound freedom. With a truce established between Zalario's forces and the Insectors, they agreed to conclude the battle and collaborate. The summit conference between Almesia and Zalario led to a successful agreement, and a declaration of collaboration was issued. Zalario's forces would remain in Saurian to prepare for the impending crisis. From his vantage point, Feldway observed the battlefield and lamented Zalario's betrayal. He discussed his plans with his followers, Vega and Dino, and decided that they would conquer the Labyrinth, taking advantage of Veldora's absence. As they departed, the Heavenly Star Palace fell into an eerie silence, and Feldway's laughter echoed, tinged with madness.
Notice, I have compiled the current state of affairs as concisely as possible. Beginning playback.
I would like to shout out to my top Patreon followers, Gerald Gonzalez, Quest, Cheesebean, Carito, Jason Torres, and Edward Balestream, and also for the top commenter of the week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on my next videos. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below.